Hey everyone, it's been a long time since I made a video. Anyway, after 2 years of using it, I sold my giant, big ass, rectangular computer. I will put some B-roll in, but basically just look up ThermalTake the Tower 900 and you will see how big that tower was. So, and unfortunately I lost my 4090 because frankly I didn't have, those aren't 4K monitors behind me. I don't need a 4090. So this new computer that I just built last week addresses the need of me having a desktop. Because I sold my big one because, wow, that tower was huge. So I built this one I'm about to talk about. The general specs are 64 gigs of RAM. It's a Ryzen 9. I'll go into more detail in a minute. And here are the internals of my new gaming rig. Get a little zoom in on, or zoom out there. Yes, the motherboard's white. It's white on black. I kind of like it actually. It's grown on me. Where's the RAM? That is a Toughpower, Asus Tuf Gaming RTX 5070. Not the TI version, that just came out. I might upgrade, I may not. Eventually I'm going to get a 5090. But in order to do that I have to upgrade my power supply. Right now I'm rocking the 850 watt ThermalTake. I had to jump to 1350 to support the wattage draw of the 5090. And I know they're hard to find right now. This is a fairly decent 1440p gaming rig. Like I said, that is an AMD Ryzen 9 7950X 16 core. Running at fucking, I believe, 4.5 gigs. And for two monitors over there that are not 4K, it works just fine. I do have a ROM drive for legacy software. But in order to fit this long-ass card, I had to remove the HDD cages. Because this is not a fishbowl tank. This is not an aquarium computer like most of them are nowadays. This is old school, which is good for an old school guy like me. Only downside is there's only two fans. There's the big intake fan and that exhaust fan, and then the CPU fan from the cooler master cooler. I don't do AIOs because they're overpriced and overrated. You don't need AIO if you got good cooling. Got good airflow is all you need. Not to mention the three fans the graphics card has. I think it's three, it might be two. I know my 4090 had three, but I got rid of that. I sold that computer to a friend of mine. Now, a lot of people are going to give me shit for this. Those are the drives. The 2 terabyte, the 4 terabyte. Yeah, no, I had the shield off because these are half heat sinks. These are just extra drives I had laying around the shop. So, I decided to throw them in here. I had to remove the shielding because it wouldn't fit with the heat sinks on the SSDs. But yeah, those are my storage. Right there. Just the ROM drive and you guys. And the ROM drive is optional. I only use it for legacy storage. You don't actually need one. That's why you can get a fishbowl case. But I don't like fishbowl cases. This adapter I hate. It's the only thing I hate about my cable management. I don't know how to tie that off. So it looks good. Well, the rest of the cable management is pretty good. I like this case. This is a Fantex case. And I like it. Except the fact I had to remove the cages to fit the graphics card. And it's a little dusty. I've had it for a week. I already need to take it out and dust it. But that's the inside. I like the white on black. It looks cool when running, trust me. You'll see it. This is my gaming rig up and running. I promise you, this is the gaming rig. Let's see here. Yes, I'm running 11. Windows 10 dies in a few months, so. But if you want to get in the nitty gritty, you type that command. DXDIAG. Bam. Depending on what monitor it shows up on, because I got two monitors. Let's see here. Go display 1. 1185. Close enough to 12. Well, that's your VRAM on a 5070. Computer works great. I haven't had the problems I've heard about on TikTok. The melting power supply cable and the crashing to blue screen, or crashing to black, that the 50 series drivers have been known to do. I haven't had that problem yet. Knock on wood. So far, so good. This is Windows 11 Pro, so it does support weird shit like hypervisor. If you ever want to install Windows 7 on this for whatever reason, use hypervisor. Like I said, this is really for the enthusiast. Yeah, that's about it. It works fine. If you're curious about how much it costs, about $3 grand. Roughly $3 grand total. There's the RAM. That's the case if you're curious. There's a graphics card. It went up in price from what I paid for it. This is not the TI. Keep that in mind. The TI just came out. And then that's the power supply. Good value. There's the board. That's the air cooler for the CPU. And there's the Ryzen. I don't recommend this cooler, actually. If you have the money, let's go back to my old rig. Oh, yeah, that's my monitor, in case you're curious. Not 4K. Does not need a 4090 or a 5090. Though it'd be nice to have one. But if you are curious, that's my old tower. They don't make it anymore. And same processor. That was my old board. That board was awesome, but it was $1,000 for that board and $2,000 for that. This thing was paid off when I sold it. Thank God. But this is the cooler I was talking about. This is the one you should get. It's $100. I went cheap with this one, but if I was to do it again, I'd buy this Noctua. Because this is what was in the ThermalTake Tower 900. That's what I would recommend if you're going to build one. And I think it showed it. Showed it somewhere. I also recommend, if you have the dough, that's for Intel. Well, they didn't find it. Ah, it must be out of stock. Whatever. I have it saved in my cart. Yep, there it is. If you got $1,200, get that board. That's what I recommend. Get that board with my processor and a 5090 with a 1350 power supply. You will be golden. That's what I recommend. The 1350 is right here. This was in my old one. Because you can't run a 4090 on an 850. Well, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to run into power problems really quick. It's a 5090, especially, because it pulls 600 watt. There are my two monitors on my gaming rig. There's my keyboard and mouse. Sorry about the mess. That keyboard is a Logitech Orion Spark G910. They don't make them anymore, but they're well worth it. Finding them on eBay. You can see that. This mouse deserves its own video because it's 20 years old and it still works. And you can only find them on eBay. Maybe you'll get lucky at an old Micro Center store. But they are hard to find, but they are really reliable. I like those mice. In fact, that trackball is the only one I've used for the last 20 freaking years. Alright. So there's my monitors. That's the unit sitting down. That is a Fantex case. It's not a fishbowl case, which I like. It actually has a DVD drive because I use legacy software. Thank you all for watching this episode of Dantech USA. You will have a very good evening. And I'm going to enjoy this gaming rig. Thanks for tagging along with me.